Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to this, your Cancer December 2023 reading and forecast. Hi, I'm Nigel Saint James, clairvoyant. Well, this month we have a very interesting deck. It is themed on sub-Saharan Africa, particularly on West Africa. And I'm sure those with an African heritage will have a good emotional response to it. But I'm sure that you will have an emotional response to it as well, because the art itself is very moving, and hopefully we can find the poetic words to accompany the images when we come to them in just a second. Now, of course, I've done a number of one-on-one clairvoyant readings for people from different countries around the world over FaceTime and Skype, very successfully so, over the course of the last month. And if you might be interested, at the end of the video, check out the information that's in the description. Now, over the month, I've also done healings for people from different countries as well, over FaceTime and Skype. Now, clairvoyant readings I charge for, healings I don't charge for. That spiritual gift of healing was provided to me on the basis that I get nothing in return, and so it is offered to you for free. No catch, nothing will be recommended or suggested that you buy from me or anybody else. Now, and check out the information at the end of the description box for that as well. But I'd say this, don't be shy if you feel like you want to reach out for something which is physical or emotional. Do you know, I've been doing this for over 40 years, and there is nothing that I have not seen or heard in that time, so I am completely non-judgmental. Now, as the subscribers know, and great to see the subscribers, thank you for inviting me into your home. We don't have any video ads breaking into this, so you get to enjoy the reading uninterrupted. Now, let's see what there is in store for you, the highly talented and attractive Cancer. See first, the Four of Gourds. Well, gourds, that's sort of West African, isn't it? That would be a thing for holding on, for containing liquids, water, I assume. There is the Four of Blades, two fours that are there on that top line. Very good for you. That has a meaning which I'll get to in just a second. There is the Queen Mother. Very good cards coming along your way. I suspect that this is going to be a very good month for you. Let's have a look here. There is Papa Coin. Papa Coin, so-called. And finally, what shall we have? We'll have this one here. And it is the Ace of Gourds. Well, as is our practice, I'll bring the camera around. Why don't you come and sit down next to me? You and I will have a good close look at the imagery on these cards together while I do the reading for you. Just while I'm picking up the energy from these cards, do you know, sometimes I look at the small YouTube tarot channels, and there's one I came across called Ministry of Tarot. Now, the lady who does it, of course, is very different to me, as you would expect, and yet I found her authentic. So you may, at the end of this, want to go and have a look at Ministry of Tarot. Okay, I've got it, and let's have a look here. This is the Four of Gourds. Now, the good thing about this is, and isn't it interesting that it's come up, and why I think I'm coming to it first, is because it is the moon ruling the third decan of Cancer, the 12th to the 22nd of July. Let's have a look at the painting first here. Now, here we see someone sitting on a stone, don't we? And they're in a deep state of focus. Now, it's at this place that you might find yourself, sometimes numb and maybe apathetic with regard to what lies before you. You may also find yourself going within to tap into your higher intuition, because it's from this seat of higher self that you are able to realize the new opportunity that I think is now emerging. You see, this fourth gourd, it is appearing almost as if it's coming from a different dimension, as if it's coming from out of spirit itself, overflowing with fresh new water to fill these gourds which sit below it. And so this, I think, is asking you to take this new gourd by the hand, directing it to what you need it to fill. Now, as I say, moon in Cancer, well, The underlying message here is that perhaps you want to be emotionally fulfilled in a deep way, but perhaps you have been going about it the wrong way. Now, the moon, as you would know, is associated with the principle of flux and change, and your own emotional states may be shifting like the phases of the moon. Nevertheless, this is speaking here of a great degree of tenderness coming to you, care, emotional riches, and love, so you do go about getting it the right way. But there is this feeling of inertia that's here, and maybe to some extent not appreciating what you have, or in some respects differently, wanting what you can't have. I think the danger exists that the emotions take on a life of their own, and you can throw moderation out to the winds where you are driven by your emotions unconsciously. In this case, the blue sky will darken and the water here will lose its still clarity. I think you have enough, but in times of such luxury, if I can call it that, it's best to be doubly awake, especially in familiar or intimate relationships. Sometimes the idea of devotion to someone might seem oppressive. You might feel that you have to do something for someone rather than you wanting to do it naturally. Now, in some respects, this could lead to a sort of a boredom or dissatisfaction in your life, Maybe you're too familiar with your own environment and could be looking for material things to bring you happiness. You could be seeking temporary pleasure and as an escape for feelings of discontentment. And this, of course, can lead to, well, I'll just say substance abuse. This does remind you, this energy, to realize what you do have and to appreciate it, because as you know, you are a lot better off than most people. But nevertheless, there is love and emotional fulfillment here. You are being given much love and devotion here. Recognize it and enjoy it without becoming dependent on it. I will ask you this. Are you in any relationship in which you feel restricted? And are you kind of oppressively devoted to someone? Say this to yourself, though. I enjoy being together with, and fill in the names, full of thankfulness and joy. Maybe it's the case that there's a bit of stress going on in your life that you need a break from, and I think that maybe you are going to get a break from some stress. Let me have a look here. And here we have what I assume to be 4 warriors who have come out of battle. They've moved on, and they're standing there thinking, no doubt, of their loved ones back in their village. This is Jupiter ruling the 3rd decan of Libra, 14th to the 22nd of October. Now, Libra, of course, tries to find balance in your life. But the need for balance can sometimes induce unrest, and I must say that Libra can sometimes induce indecisiveness. Nevertheless, there is a calm coming into your life at this time where you do get to appreciate things. You feel centered. There's a clarity to your thinking, a spiritual cleansing, in fact, a recuperation. Things are you're starting to feel better about yourself, and maybe taking something of a break. Do you know, with Jupiter in the picture here, Jupiter is giving you a period of rest from a difficult situation, as well as, I think, opening up your higher mind's flexibility, which is needed to resolve any conflicts in relationships that are going on. But Jupiter does allow you to move on. This is a good atmosphere for the rose of recognition to unfold and expand. Now, Jupiter carries the qualities of joy and expansion. Now, whatever situation might have seemed hopeless until now actually contains within itself all the elements for a fortunate and prosperous situation to emerge. Now, I think there is a time for you to take out some time from stressful situations. Look, if you can get a holiday, great, just recharge your batteries. Now, conflicts, of course, don't go away, but time out is necessary from them, and make the most of any, even a mental break. But don't put off anything that needs to be dealt with. Don't put off anything that is unavoidable, as unavoidable things can grow to become bigger and more challenging. But trust your intuition to know when enough rest is good enough for you. Make the most of this period here to be at your strongest when you need to face such issues that come up to hand for you, because you have enough inner clarity to successfully carry out your plans. Now, be sure at all times that you feel good about what is happening, what supports and what hinders your clarity, and check your surroundings and rearrange them to support calm and centeredness. And say this to yourself: I am at peace with myself. And then where shall we go to next? Let's have a look and see. Well, why don't we do what's underneath that card? This lady looks like somebody of importance to you. Queen Mother. Well, the Queen Mother is the pillar of her kingdom. The earth is her throne and her adornment. Now, she is conscious of the ripple of creation from her womb to the seeds that birth new life in the land. Now, she's certainly adorned with this green around here speaks of fertility and new growth. All these flowers around here show her being a queen. What's this gem that's in there, ladies? I don't know. I mean, I've given away a lot of diamonds and gold over the years to ladies, but is that an aventurine? I don't know. Now, let's have a look. We shall see here that, I think there is beauty coming in here. This has got Venus all over it. There's a femininity, a wisdom, a connection between spirit and matter, an inner and outer wealth. A great degree of fertility around here. So if you don't want to get pregnant, then you know what to do. But this is speaking to me of the fulfillment of your potential and success, and successful opportunities coming up, ready for you to get hold of. Maybe even a pregnancy. It's very much coming through here. I think you are in touch with the beauty of your life now. And you may well be exploring the relationship with your mother, although because it's touching on this male card here, could be a paternal figure that you're exploring a relationship with, or you may be acting as a mother figure or a father figure to somebody else. Now you'll be very empathetic and caring. And it reminds you that spirituality is experienced from the heart and not from the head. Do you know, I think she embodies and commands the feminine in all of its form. Her form and surroundings are marked by beauty and wholeness. I think you'll feel a sense of well-being, and you'll be taking part in the harmony of her being. You see, her beauty is not restricted only to the externally visible. Her femininity is fully evolved on all levels of her being, giving her a special radiance which you will have during this time. Now, she is a mother and a lover, a ruler, and perhaps a clairvoyant at the same time. And her strength rests in unification of the highest spiritual values in their fully understood forms with the lowest material qualities. Now, I think that the essential characteristics of her reign are love in its giving and receptive sense, creativity and fruitfulness, and understanding her and wisdom. And the creativity of male procreative power unifies itself with her surrender After she has integrated the male aspect of herself, she'll be internally and externally in harmony. Now, I don't think that anybody is going to be able to pigeonhole you as being either all intellect or all emotion during this time. You'll be a good balance of both of them. And you might find that you are quite service-oriented here as well. You'll have good leadership ability, and this is a particularly good energy for women that's here. Do you know that the beauty that you see in others, which attracts you to them, is a beauty that you carry within yourself? I think you are in the process of unfolding and evolving your femininity. This might be the right time to work through and clarify any unresolved mother conflicts or mother and child conflicts. Is there in your life a beautiful, strong woman from whom you would like to learn? Visualize your ideal woman. Write down her most important qualities, and try to find these in others and yourself, and surround yourself with beauty and abundance. And say this to yourself at this time: I give and receive wisely. I realize that the capacity to receive is equally as powerful as the capacity to give. I value the healing power of beauty and love, and I am filled with power and beauty. Let's then go and have a look at this image here. Oh, Scorpio, Libra, Sagittarius are going to be important to you, I would say. Now, this image here, this ace, represents a well of pure energy. It marks the emergence of a new sense of well-being. You are in love with love and bursting with creativity. You are sort of proverbially baptized, and for a moment find the stains that taint your spirit gently being cleansed and washed away, purifying your soul. It's a time, I think, when you can fully express your diverse range of emotional understanding and sink into the whole. Spiritual and psychic channels are open so you may be able to better receive the conscious downloads that guide you. It's a highly fertile state from which new life can emerge. Now, this suit of gourds here really embody the experience of your relationships, the pursuit of happiness, love, fulfillment, pleasure. But of course, you can't have those experiences without, from time to time, feeling maybe their opposites here. This is love in its purest sense. It's speaking to me of an abundance, a new relationship, or a kickstart to an existing relationship. Definitely birth, pregnancy is something you're going to hear of. Now, there's a lot of sensual passion. You are going to find yourself very sexually attractive to other people. Or they're going to find you attractive. And you might find that you have a sexual attraction to somebody else, whether or not you act upon it. There's a deep love of the self here as well, which is good, giving and receiving. The giving of love, I think, here happens effortlessly, and that which continuously flows into you from the boundless abundance of the universe will radiate outwards to others. Now, in a sense, the cup of unconditional love is being offered to you, so will you drink from it? It's a good opportunity for new relationships and for new romance here as well. And it does represent unconditional love, so you should also give and forgive unconditionally in order to get inner peace. Now, this is a sort of a love coming from you, this expansive love that's coming from you. You might compare it with the flower, which sends off its perfume, whether someone comes close to enjoy the perfume or not. And I think that you are in contact with all-embracing love. It fills you and you can pass it on generously, lavishly to others. Now, what is your way of expressing love? Say this, however: all-encompassing love fills me and my environment. Well, let's have a look finally at this image, which is in this corner, and we'll have a look at it and see what it has to say. Let me look into your eyes here. Now, Virgo and Leo are going to be important to you. Why is that? Well, I think the first 2 decans of Virgo are ruled by the Sun and Venus, respectively. Well, the Sun is required for crops, and this is someone I think who has a great attachment to the land. And Venus just supports that sort of quality. This might well be a man of the land, someone who is patient, hard-working, clever. Sometimes you might think they're a bit dull, you know? Certainly this is a person who is a master of health and material abundance. And he also has a great interest in the body, as you should do at this time. Because in questions of health, this is a person who could be like a doctor or a healer, or you might be seeing a financial advisor, and the advice is something that you should be listening to. This is speaking to me of harvest time, where the grain is ripe, and you are able to then bring in that harvest that's coming toward you. Now, incidentally, I think that this is also a time when you should be working with your work ethic more than anything else. Rather than coming up with any new ideas, leave the research and development to another month, leave the experiments to another month. Just do what you know works. And use your work ethic to get by in for things at the moment. You might find that you have a deep connection with Mother Earth itself, you know. Do you know, now is the time. We were talking about service before. Somewhere, someone was talking about service. It could well be that this is the time to set your abilities to work in service of some kind. Now, you do have some tasks before you which are large and demand the use of all of your powers, but if you make the effort, the harvest is going to reward you richly. Now, are there any tasks that you would like to avoid in your life? Remember, whenever things seem to be too much trouble for you, concentrate on the positive results of your actions for you and for other people. And your internal learning and growing process, that's the most important outcome. More important than that which you achieve by your actions. And remember to have this thought in mind. With every task that comes my way, comes also the energy needed to accomplish it. Well, what a fantastic spread of cards for you. And didn't you do a good job? Well done. Well, I told you that was going to be a very interesting deck, didn't I? And I think you'll agree with me that it was. I hope that you enjoyed the artwork as much as I did, and I hope that you enjoyed the reading as much as I did providing it to you. And if you did and you've made it this far, can you do me the great favor of, on the way out, hitting the like button and the subscribe button, because it's good for the YouTube computer. You understand what I mean? But look, it's been wonderful to see you again. I hope to see you again next month, of course, unless I see you privately in between. But until then, remember one thing, and it is this, that you are a legend. And I look forward to seeing you again next month. And until then, it's bye for now.